our series of Meet with Digital Thinkers, wherein we actually, showcase stories of digital leaders transforming businesses using technology. And, I want to start with setting the context briefly before I bring in the esteemed speakers into the session. We all are moving towards the digital economy, and it is fundamentally altering the way we operate, the businesses operate, and the underpinning foundation of this digital economy calls for delivering the best-in-class experience around speed, agility, and performance. And today in today's circumstances, more than ever, these three key metrics that I'm talking about, speed, agility, and performance, are really at the center of growth and recovery for organizations as they work amidst this uncertainty today. And as businesses navigate, through the uncertainty, how fast and how well they recover will be determined by the ability to be agile and to quickly respond to the dynamically changing requirements. And undoubtedly, cloud is a key pillar in enabling that. And we already have data which kind of reaffirms that statement of mine. And according to the IDC's COVID-19 impact on IT spending survey, it showcases that the spread of the pandemic, with that 64% of the organizations in India are expected to increase demand for cloud computing. And, cloud really enables the business transformation critical to successfully navigating the road forward to recovery and growth. So, and today what we are going to be doing is, let's see how one digital native, is leveraging cloud to help drive this business transformation. And the company that I'm talking about here is PopXO, which is India's largest digital community for women that blends both content and commerce on one website. So for PopXO, delivering content in 6 languages to a global audience, engaging a community of over 5 million users every month, while seamlessly integrating the e-commerce platform and the content which are actually on different technologies, is made possible with cloud. And to talk about how cloud is helping PopXO support and grow a dynamic and interactive platform engaging millions, I have with me Piyush Yadav, Head of Engineering PopXO, and Manan Jain, AVP Growth of Luxeva Limited, a media tech company that's behind some of India's biggest digital brands, which are PopXO, Plixo, and Luxeva. So before I actually ask Piyush and Manan, to come on board, I just want to briefly introduce them. Manan has been leading the PopXO business and user growth for the past 4 years in a leadership role. He has over 6 years of experience in growing digital brands, leading business strategy, brand and customer relations. He launched commerce for PopXO in 2019, for Plixo in 2018, and he has led over 300% growth of revenue and users for PopXO over the last 4 years. Piyush is a technology leader with expertise in software development and software design. He is highly experienced in internet technology applications, mobile apps, SaaS products, e-commerce websites, enterprise software systems integration. And Piyush comes with a diverse background of engineering, user experience, innovation, network operations, quality assurance, customer support through technology. And now to take the conversation forward, the discussion forward, and understand PopXO's cloud journey, I would like to invite Deepak Ajmani, Country Head Corporate Business for Google Cloud India. Deepak is a part of the executive leadership team at Google India, and his team at Google engages with customers and partners to increase awareness, market awareness, and ensure customer success on Google Cloud. Deepak is an industry veteran with over 22 years of experience in leading and scaling business benefits at companies such as Oracle and Dell EMC in the past. And I also have with me Ankit Sinha, VP Cloud Practice and Consulting for Sears. Ankit leads all practices and consulting teams for the APAC region. This includes the cloud, data, AI and ML, work transformation, location intelligence, app modernization, and cloud native app engineering practices. With over 16 years of tech and sales experience at IBM, SAP, Google, and most recently at Paytm, Ankit brings in the best of cloud and business understanding. So, Deepak and Ankit, I will hand it over to you to take the discussion forward and to really help us understand, PopXO's cloud journey with Piyush and Manan. So, I'll hand it over to both of you here.
Thank you so much, Shipra. Such a pleasure to meet you again, and welcome everyone to this limited series webinar. It's such a pleasure and honor to have both Manan and Piyush join us. We've been working with them over a few months now, and it's always great to see how companies like PopXO are absolutely revolutionizing the way we work in the new normal. So I'm not going to take too much time away from the webinar. I'm going to get straight into the conversation with Manan. So Manan, if you're on, my first question to you is about the history of PopXO. Now, obviously, I heard some great stats around 300% revenue growth. Can you briefly give us a glimpse in terms of how PopXO really started and its evolution into India's largest digital community for women that blends both content and e-commerce?
Sure, Deepak. Hello, everyone. So basically, PopXO started 5 years ago when we realized there's not enough content for women online, which was talking to women or relatable to women. So in a matter to basically shorten the gap, PopXO started to produce articles which were basically talking to women what happens in their daily life, solving their problems related to fashion, beauty, relationships, everything in their life day to day, what they go through. Slowly and steadily, we started to see a big traction coming from different parts of India. And as the landscapes changed, we saw that video was taking an uptake, and the same content strategy was basically implemented in video. PopXO has been here for 5 years. We have been doing content in different forms and modes. We are social first. We basically believe in reaching the user where they are. If the user is spending time on any platform across, we go to on the platform and talk to the user in the way they want us to. We also have a UGC platform, UGC feature on our platform, which in India, one of the biggest problem women face is they cannot talk to anyone and discuss their problem, which are uncomfortable to talk about. So that UGC platforms helps, basically, it's only for women, made by women, where people, different women of different age groups and different regions can come there and feel safe and ask those questions and get them answered by the women who are facing the similar kind of issues. We as PopXO also believe that we make women try to get to the best they want to be and not judge them or basically direct them in a way which we think is right. We want them to achieve their goals. We want them to basically get to the goals they want to be. And post the UGC launch, we saw a big spike in traffic. We saw how much people wanted to discuss about various topics which were not openly discussed in India. From taking that part, we decided to basically go deeper into the tier 2 towns and launch 6 languages, led by Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. These languages basically helped us to penetrate and study about those users. This also led UGC creation, video creation in those languages. We didn't want to only translate basically the English language into these languages because we wanted to talk to the user in a manner they are used to talking. We wanted to relate to their emotions and how they go on their daily lives. So basically, we started producing content and we saw great uptake in that as well. Adding to that, basically we launched our content strategy has always been relatable, talk about the issues which concerns about the daily life of a woman, relatable topics. Second, we really focus on uncomfortable topics which other people are not easily able to discuss openly on a platform or forum. We related to relationships, hygiene, or anything other than like this. We basically talk about this on our open forum, to discuss this on videos, ask people to come forward with their issues, and we try to solve them as well. Over the past years, Popexo has grown from a 1 million user base, which was 1 year in 1 year, to 5 to 6 million user base MAU that we see today. On social media, we have grown from merely doing 10 million video views to doing over 300 million on a month-on-month basis. We are growing as a platform. UGC and video being one of the 4 pillars for that. And as that has grown, our website capacity and website engagement has grown with it.
That's huge. That's awesome. I mean, 1 million to 5 to 6 million, like you said, and 300 million views. That's just humongous amount of growth that you're seeing. And we have seen a plethora of digital engagement and commerce platform come up in the last 4 or 5 years, Manan. Mm-hmm. Why did you find cloud to be the right fit to deliver the best-in-class experience to your users and differentiate yourself from the competition? Was there a reason for it?
In one word, I would basically describe it as user experience. When we launched, we saw unusual spikes of people coming because we are a social first platform, and our traffic and engagement depends on what campaign or what questions are being asked, what type of content is being posted on various platforms, how we are discussing the issue on platform. We see a very unusual spikes of traffic at different places, and we also produce content across. We have traffic from UK, USA, Australia, across different continents. So our spikes of traffic are not consistent. It's not that we will get every hour the same amount of traffic. Our spikes depend on what kind of content we are promoting. Is it entertainment? Is it relationships? Is it helpful content? What campaigns are running those times? What is at a festival going on? So these spikes, basically to maintain a smooth user experience, I believe the cloud was the best solution for us. Obviously, we experimented other things as well, but eventually landed on cloud to provide the correct user experience. It's also seamless, also helps us to put a data layer on top. One of the biggest issues while you get a user to engage with you is to keep them engaged for a long period of duration. So the best thing about cloud is let us do it put us a data layer on top, and the data engineering can then feed into it and tell them, okay, this is the content you like, this is the next content I think as a user you would be really interested in. So cloud helped us to go through that as well. More the fact over the past 4 years, the growth has been it's been a hockey stick growth for us, and seeing that growth and to stabilize that growth and to have those many users and to provide them an efficient platform, also to control the cost, because as the users come on platform, your cost internally grows. And as being a business person, you obviously have to look at both the parts of the funnel, and cloud helped to basically maintain the user journey, make it as efficient as possible, also helped us to keep the cost at a certain level that we can enjoy a healthy business to user relationship as well.
That's awesome. I mean, so for what I hear, you're saying user experience, scale, and personalization at the right cost. I think those were some of the drivers moving to cloud. That's fantastic to hear. Ankit, over to you.
Deepak, thanks for that. Manan, a very exciting story. And for any organization which sees that kind of user growth, the pressure automatically shifts to somebody who needs to support it. I would probably take a few questions with Piyush in this regard. Piyush, hi there. So as we just kind of understood, there must have been a significant amount of pressure. The teams that you're managing, the kind of work that you're doing needs speed, needs agility, needs nimbleness. My question would be, how has the move to Google Cloud helped? I understand that you have a business which is like really dynamically growing, millions of views, that what we heard about. Could you shed some light, some real life examples of where you saw this move really enabling you better?
Yeah. Thanks, Ankit. Thanks, Deepak. Hi, everyone. So when we talk about a business which is growing at that scale, whatever preparation you do, you are less prepared. Because the kind of a situation you see, and when we are working at the ground level, you know that technology is supporting such a vast platform. So I think Google Cloud has really helped us, because Google Cloud has so many services which caters to these kinds of growth, specific scalability problems which they deal with their services. And not just Google Cloud, I'll say like generally as well, because for every technology company, you will see that, they will use a combination of many cloud services.
Yes.
So when you talk about scale, or when you talk about user experience and giving that knack to your application, which can actually support what you're trying to build and what you're trying to give to your customer, I think a lot of services which Google Cloud provides, they actually help in optimizing your cost with the performance, which can actually help you drive your business through. And if I talk about Google Cloud, it's the same platform on which Google.com runs. So who doesn't want to be on that same platform? So the speed, the agility of the system, the reactiveness of how things can get deployed as fast as possible, and ultimately all these things you can do all these things on any platform, but then there's a factor of cost. So at that part, I think Google Cloud has really helped us in terms of optimizing our performance with optimizing our cost as well.
Super. I would definitely say that we wanted to ensure that we are able to get some kind of a metrics of performance, but since you people are on such a hockey stick growth curve, I would hope that the growth curve does not slow down and we can do the metrics comparison on the infrastructure side at a later point. The other question which I definitely wanted to get is all the cloud providers, all the leading cloud providers definitely bring in a lot of the AI ML capabilities. Yeah. There is a lot of literature published on what would be the use cases. For a user engagement organization like yours, did you see, apart from obviously the core infrastructure capabilities and low latencies and high throughput, did you also see any applications of how you now can work with data better? What would be the AI ML engagements for you now?
Yeah. So looking at our business, we had a combination of users from 4 continents.
Okay.
We have a variety of data coming in at very different kind of demographics and very different kind of variables, which it's very difficult to handle. And when it comes to throughput, trying to maintain those spikes and then maintaining the data layer as well on top of it. So here we have tried a lot of things. We have tried building our own tools. If I'm naming, there are many tools from Apache, and we are trying to build on those. But what we found was that an orchestration by a service provider would be a very good thing on it. We had been seeing this for the past years that people have been trying. So the AML is currently in a kind of a experimentation cover situation with every service provider, and they're trying to build it on the top of it. But I think so we cannot say that what is a better approach. We can't comment on that really. But I think I believe that the approach which Google Cloud took was very interesting. So instead of building every pipeline, every data level metrics what you want to put, or any kind of layer you want to put, I think Google Cloud has really produced a system with that orchestration, which can help you drive this matrix forwards and these data key points and click through forwards. To just name, we've been leveraging these services like PubSub. We are using BigQuery a lot. We are using Dataflow. So we are using a lot of cloud functions, and these are the services which can really scale up with your business. So if I'm sitting at 1x today, and like in tomorrow I'm growing 100x or even 1000x, these services are ready to support that. So, and also on top of building AI models on it, I've leveraged this service, Cloud TPU, which was very interesting. And I was able to model a lot of data, a lot of AI ML data flows and processing. I could do it in a fraction of a time which we used to take on our GPUs somewhere else. So so that way I think Google Cloud is really helpful in maintaining that AI ML thing. Really, I'm hoping because this keeps changing as well. So I keep reading about what Google is doing all the time on data part. And this is so fast. The changes are so fast that every month we have a new product coming out, and we are trying to also compensate with that as well. But they solve our problem. They solve our flow. They optimize our cost as well. So that's amazing.
Thank you. That's good to know. I would definitely believe for the audience that there would be an opportunity at the end to ask questions. Piyush referred to several things. the managed services on top of open source technologies in the Apache community, the data warehousing solution like BigQuery, the tensor processing unit. I'm glad that you also have some early experimentations with that. That's very interesting to know. And it does not look like you have not spent your lifetime on Google Cloud. With the fluency that you have, that's good to hear. Deepak, I would definitely like to hand it back to you to really continue the conversation. I mean, how this led back to Manan's business? Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for covering that. And Piyush, some great insights that I've been making notes ever since you got started. So some great data points there and for me to take to other customers as well. Manan, I'm going to ask you a very, very pertinent question. I think it's on everybody's mind, right? And all focus for businesses today is pivoted around business continuity. And this is all amid the uncertainty that COVID-19 has created for multiple businesses and especially startups and digital native businesses. How has Google Cloud helped Popexo maintain business continuity during the current crisis? And going forward, how critical do you think cloud is to your future growth and stability?
Sure. COVID-19 has been a very unprecedented time. So I'm going to divide the question into two parts. One is the user journey bit. We have never seen these kind of user flows, the amount of user that flow on the platform or the user, the amount of users that we saw on content pieces before COVID hit. There were usual spikes. There were spikes at unusual times, but this was unprecedented. Any story regarding COVID, any story regarding how to basically improve the situation, how to help yourself, what are the right things to do, got a lot of traffic on platform. And having a cloud platform support us really helped to make the user journey, irrespective of amount of traffic coming to us, a smooth journey. We were able to record the data properly, and it was a good user experience, irrespective of what new circumstances or new challenges this COVID-19 brought. Second, I think most of the startups have fared the revenue crunch, the cash flow crunch that all of us have fared because of COVID-19 due to the business ups and downs. At this point of time, cost optimization becomes a huge part of your business. And for us also, we did the cost optimization on cloud became a huge part. So what Google really helped us do was basically optimize a cost on cloud, how to store data correctly, how to use the services more in an optimization manner so that it cost less. Plus the support during that time that GCP provided was much needed. And it helped us to battle through the worst period that went behind over the past 3-4 months. So I think both from a user flow, user journey and user experience perspective, and from a business perspective, this has been a smooth transition. This has been a transition which helped us actually fight COVID-19 we are better placed than any other in any other situation we would have been.
No, that's really great to know, and I'm glad that you sort of bring up this whole aspect of the business perspective as well, because one piece is the whole technology coming to your aid and enabling you to achieve scale and user experience. And the other aspect is with regard to this whole cost optimization process, because it really does make a significant impact for a high growth organization like yours, because you don't want the infrastructure cost to scale up with the growth in the users as well, right? At some point in time, there's got to be a good sort of a mix there in terms of having a high growth at a reasonably good cost. So thank you so much for highlighting that, Manan. Over to you, Ankit.
Yeah, I definitely have a follow-up question on that piece now. That's for Piyush. The short question is that how crazy are you? In the best of times, people would be very, very afraid to make platform switches. But you decided to take this opportunity during your peak traffic hours, during the work from home scenarios. How difficult was the migration? How did you manage the roadblocks? Did it go better than expected? Or please just share all your experiences around that. But also answer, how crazy are you?
So yeah, everyone has been asking me that question, that right now COVID times are there. Just stay where you are. No need to, take any dynamic decision. But that dynamicity was needed. At unprecedented times, we need unprecedented solutions as well.
Yes.
That kind of solutions we needed, and we had a thought about it. We had a lot of process going on around it, that how could we actually reduce the cost and optimize the performance. As Manan said, that COVID times were driving the cost to on the lower side and revenue and business on the higher side. So that was a very, very challenging situation for most of the startups in the world. So when it came, the decision was to be done to actually migrate from different platforms to GCP in these times. I got a good support from GCP and I got a good support from CS, where the biggest thing was that the philosophy of that we can do it. The philosophy of that we will be able to see that end goal, to see the process behind it, to see step by step how we'll do it and break it down in such a way that we can see those success matrix coming in. Okay, fine, that this is success 1, this is success 2. And this was we were how able to achieve it. We did a lot of dry runs. We did a lot of experimentations or small projects, and then we were quite sure that we can do that and optimizing the cost, of course. Coming on to the ground reality part of any change in the system. When you talk about any change in any technology system, we are afraid. As a technologist, I'll say that there's a saying: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? Our business was running fine. Everything is running fine. Why do we want to fix that and create that kind of a risk for the business? Where a migration could lead up into complete downage of site, maybe on the peak times, and losing a lot of revenue. But the confidence I got from the team, they were ready to support in every bit of code. The DevOps team, the Node.js team, the database teams, they were really sitting there, they were on their toes to help us out. Whether it was like at 3 a.m. in night or 3 in the morning or in the evening, whatever the time was, the support was there to keep the site running. I'll say this, such a big platform, and we did not have a downtime on this migration. So that was the biggest success for us. And I think the philosophy is all behind, that we have to believe in ourselves first when it comes to technology, because we all have that fear. When we talk about technology, we all have that fear that is one piece of code which I'm not aware of right now, and that is going to break when I'm going to move from one platform to another.
Yes.
And we are all very afraid of that. But with the confidence I got from the CS and Google team, we fell in that trap. There were some codes which were not working, but we were able to solve that. We did not have a downtime, and we were able to successfully migrate, successfully optimize the cost, increase the performance, and actually have a success journey attached to it.
Piyush, that's good to hear. And just to follow up on that one, now that you have, let's say, a relatively smooth transition over, and now you've also got some experience working on the platform for some time. Any pieces of how the change management then continues to happen, and any what is the experience after the go live on Google Cloud Platform for you?
Yeah, so I think the biggest changes we will feel is the administratability of the system. So it's quite different. It's quite different from what you will see in orthodox systems, or if you have made pipelines on CI/CD, or if you have established a lot of auto scaling groups somewhere else. So these kind of changes you will have to learn. You have to bring the change in the system of your culture of your tech teams. People have to be given a tiny bit of training on that. But the good thing is that GCP system, I found it very intuitive.
Okay.
It was not like, I would not like to name some platform, but some platforms have created a kind of a product attached to their services, and then that product is very, very, catering to their own services only. They're complementing their services.
Yes.
On GCP, I found that you can leverage according to your needs, because that fluidity is there in the system. Once you get a hold of it, things become like, they are very fluid. You can easily understand that, okay, here I want to work on a cloud application, or here I want to work on a Kubernetes, or here I want to work on AI/ML. It's quite visible on the system. So that change management has to be brought in the culture.
Yes.
But as I said, that you have to be prepared for it. Once you are prepared for it, you will be able to do it. That whole the support is from the Google side. So that support is always there, which can easily give you that change management to flow like in a fluid fashion. Yeah.
Perfect. Piyush, I think I had read this article a few weeks back that wartime generals need to be decisive and need to take action. I think I'm glad that this war we were victorious together.
Yeah.
I'm also hoping that the team that you have, the bunch of engineers who probably were certified on different sets of technology, find the new tools that they are picking up. I mean, it's generally enriching their overall brand as a individual as well. Because what we also know is that, yes, there is a lot of focus during the go live, but what we need to ensure is that there is sustained momentum after that, and that's where the optimizations will continue to stay, and no lethargy creeps in. But this is good to hear. I would definitely like Deepak to come back and kind of start weaving everything together for us. Deepak?
Ankit, you've done it all. I think, what else can I say? I think Manan and Piyush, let me first thank you for taking this time to share your experience. It's always great to see and great to hear about how companies like you are scaling exponentially. And during these times, especially during these times, to stay relevant and to be able to offer a more personalized user experience at a cost that makes a lot of sense to business. I think you've been doing the right sort of things. Very happy to hear about some of the solutions that you're using from Google Cloud, the PubSub, the BigQuery. You spoke about TPU as well. And all of these are technologies, the AI/ML technologies are all frontiers of organizations like yours, which are disrupting the marketplace today. And I was, again, just to sort of, again, highlight this whole aspect of Google and Sears hand-holding you for the migration, and not having any downtime during that entire process. I think that's a huge achievement. And congratulations to you and your team for supporting us in that journey. And as always, with Ankit's help and his team's help, and with the team at Google Cloud, we'll always look for partnering with you, not just on the cloud journey, but overall from a one Google approach. There is just so much more in the Google stack that we can sort of continue to work on. And I thank you for that confidence, and I thank you for the trust. And let's make a great success out of this and be an inspiration to many other folks who are listening to us in the audience today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shipra.
Thank you so much, Deepak and Ankit, and especially Piyush and Manan for sharing your cloud journey so candidly with us. While I was listening, Piyush, so when you spoke about the making the shift, migrating from one platform to the other during these unprecedented times, I would say that unprecedented times call for unprecedented actions, and what you have done really proves that it calls for an out of the box thinking, and it would be a great learning experience for the delegates who are here today. How you have kind of leverage cloud to enable an engaging experience for over 5 million new users every month, and how you are managing dynamic traffic across different time zones, how you are using AI and ML for more engaging customer experiences, and of course for all those businesses that are skeptical about moving from one cloud platform to the other. I think this will be a good learning experience, and a good comfort to hear from you that of course indeed it is not as difficult or as bad as it looks like. So thank you so much, both of you. And thanks, Deepak and Ankit, for really taking the discussion forward and really highlighting the key aspects, which will be useful for our delegates. So Ankit, I want to, come back to you, a partner, while we all agree that cloud is a key pillar, to really maximize and optimize that journey, a partner is very important. It plays a key role. So, to bring that perspective, I want you to, come back and take it over from here.
Thank you again. I mean, we have to show a few slides so that we can actually kind of put some structure for the audiences to see how all these things stitch together. I'd definitely like to say that there is a question answer session following for the PopXO team. I'm sure people like to ask a lot of questions to the actual people who carried it, but we definitely do everything in our right to enable those journeys successfully. Sears is a cloud consulting company. We've been in existence for over a decade. We've always tried to help companies do things in a slightly better way. As a DNA of our organization, we work very well with technocrats. We work very well with engineers. And as long as there is that kind of a rapport that we are able to establish, I think we've always delivered great results. There's several things that a cloud company would be doing to enable their customers to actually derive best out of the cloud platform of their choice. We have worked extensively on Google Cloud for a variety of services that our customers kind of came to us on. It typically starts with a consulting kind of a conversation. There are people that have not moved with the times, and so there is a lot of infrastructure modernization pieces that one needs to do, which could be heavier assignments. For a lot of cloud native organizations, we have got our architects help them through the DevOps and automation pieces. And then there are a variety of services that you would probably need to enable people to convert everything that they watch on slides to basically be implemented in their real environment. The example that I can talk about is application engineering. Everyone's been talking about serverless. Everyone is talking about microservices. Everyone's talking about the API economy. We definitely got some of the best technology stack from Google, and now we try to make it work for a company based on the kind of roadmap that their SVP engineering or their CTOs set for us. Data analytics, AI, ML. Again, we have now overall as a country in India become very, very data rich, and we have obviously understood the value of kind of mining it correctly, of allowing to have a team which runs data science experiments on it. What we always try to do is work with our customers to ensure that all your expensive resources that you hire as data scientists, they are not wasting their entire lives doing data operations and data cleansing job. So we do have all these portfolio bundles, and what we have done over the years is gone customer by customer in a very, very engaging consultative way and grown from there. We definitely have hundreds of people certified on different cloud technology platforms. I think the number crossed 250 and just on Google Cloud certifications per se. And we definitely have a rich portfolio of customers that has allowed us to kind of understand a few things on the industry scenarios per se as well. So if I now have a team which works with a media client, for example, or a commerce client, or somebody who's both, exactly like how PopXO is, I think we kind of understand the rhythm of the business, the rhythm of the game much better per se. We heard from the PopXO team a story of their Google Cloud journey, and I am really, really happy and I'm privileged that we were able to participate in that. And what we definitely want to do is to say that yes, your challenges would be different from PopXO. Your team composition would be different from PopXO. We would want to enable you in whatever objectives you lay out for us. In that sense, what we have done is we have built a very, very modular style of engagement, and I would not like to spend too much time showing you block diagrams. But what we typically like to do is across the Google portfolio of products, we would have cases where people wanted to take the maps data, combine it with some of their internal logs from their system, and from a lending perspective, come out with scores that they could decide the credit risk of an individual. The data cloud piece, the maps piece, everything kind of comes together. We have people which are from the larger enterprise space that wanted to organize their information better. So what we do is work with the standard, power of Google Cloud Search within your enterprise, and then bring the niceness of G Suite around it. What we have obviously tried to do is not become a traditional services organization which likes to ship a lot of bodies, and we want to be nimble. We want to retain the core essence of cloud, which is to have a lightweight footprint, do exactly the kind of things that are doing, so that we do not repeat the mistakes of the previous tech stacks where everything used to be big, heavy management overheads and big, heavy technology to just manage technology. So we would never like to get into that space. I think a lot of us, that's why call us a born in the cloud service provider, because Google is a very, very famous brand. PopXO is very, very popular in almost all segments. I mean, yeah, for us, what I wanted to spend and get your attention for a couple of minutes is on Seers as well. We have consistently tried to grow with the growing portfolio at Google, Google Cloud, Google Maps, G Suite. We have constantly been rewarded and loved by our customers, which is what is our currency of growth. And what we would definitely want to do, and I would just, I don't want to read through the entire slide deck, but I'm hoping that our credibility will not be reflected in terms of the awards or recognition that we would have won in the past, but when we actually start interacting with you. And this is perhaps the simplest slide that I could think of for a bunch of for this interaction. We definitely want to have a chance with you so that you can get an appointment with one of our trained cloud consultant, and based on the key value, the key decisions we derive out of that first consultation engagement, we would definitely like to get our best architects to start working with you on the kind of problems that you throw at us. A good consulting conversation goes beyond, I have an AWS infrastructure and I would like to save 20% money there and I'm growing very quickly. So it needs to go a little beyond. We would like to understand how your tech team is structured, what are the typical tech processes that you have in place, what kind of external help as a consultant that we can come and bring in so that you can actually meet those technology objectives that you wanted to lay out for your organization as such. Are you looking at adopting more managed services so that your costs of administration come down? Are you very keen to stick to open source technologies because you have struggled with vendor lock-ins in the past? We obviously like to get to understand the core pulse through the consulting conversation. Clearly, the DevOps conversations are different from the infrastructure or the networking conversations, which are different from the data and AI conversations. And hence, we wanted to take that one-on-one with all our organizations that want to work with us. The architects then kind of whiteboard. We have constantly been trying to ensure that the whiteboarding exercise remotely is as fruitful as it used to be in the past. And the purpose of this webinar was really to establish that it is possible to take all the implementation steps as well. My team would obviously follow up with you. And just for your records, my phone number and my email address is also attached.
So Deepak, we have a question for you.
Yeah.
So the delegate wants to know that, shifting cloud platforms has huge cost implications, during these times. So is Google Cloud doing anything or has any program to help growing the digital natives?
No, absolutely, and this is where a lot of investments that we've been making in the entire digital economy comes to play, and Google's committed to that change as well, right? I mean, a lot of companies are now looking at moving from on-premise to cloud to cloud, and working along with partners like Seers, we can definitely structure an entire migration program and sort of put the power of a program behind it. Because it does involve architects, it does involve some level of engineering effort as well, and Google's happy to sort of commit to that entire journey, working along with customers. So, long answer short, the answer is yes. We are committed to change. We're committed to working with you, just as we did with PopXO. Piyush and Manan are obviously great advocates of that entire journey, and willing to invest with you as a customer so that we can obviously help you in the whole digital transformation journey.
Okay, great, Deepak. Ankit, my next question is for you. The delegate wants to know, how does a partner, get involved? Do you have access to any corporate data or the architectural landscape, which could be confidential to a company?
So the short answer there would be no. The partner obviously plays a consulting role by default. We always try to ensure that we have a non-disclosure agreement and other paperwork that might be required to protect the interest of our customers. We do not have access to the cloud console where you are kind of managing your infrastructure, or if you're using some code tools or something. So we do not get access to that. We in fact have no business to be in that space. Unless, of course, we also had some kind of a managed services contract where we might have some higher level of access that you as a customer grant us. But for us, really, where the whole piece is that we like to sit and solve problems. We would like to discuss the architecture with you. We would like to bring in that expertise with you, but all protected by the compliance rules and the NDAs. And nothing that kind of comes from a Google Cloud perspective. We have access to none of the data. Perhaps the billing information, if we have that equation with you, but nothing more. Thank you.
Okay. I hope that answers the question the delegate had. Piyush, I have the next question for you, and I think it is quite relevant, and that would answer, I think that is a question that many of the delegates would be having, is that our engineers do things themselves in-house. So why should we rope in a partner? So Piyush, what is your take on that?
Yeah, if you have that confidence in your engineers, go for it. For it. But as I said, that even the best of the trapeze artists would have a safety net. You would need that cushion with you, that if something, I have always had that fear. Every technologist have that fear, that if something fails and we are not able to solve it, because in every company there are many change of hands in technology over a piece of time, over a long period of time, and there are many infra which you are not really confident about, that maybe we will be able to pull it off on a new cloud platform or not. And that's where you need a partner who can really stand behind as that safety net and say, okay sir, you do whatever you want to do, we are behind you, we are supporting you, and we are able to help you out in that. It's not necessary. It's not like you have to do it. If you are confident enough, go for it. I have, like, this is not only the first migration I have done. I've been doing a lot of migrations from on-premise to cloud, from shared servers, we used to have VPC, virtual private servers a long time back. So I used to do a lot of migrations, and we were able to pull it off. So that's fine. The short answer is that you don't require it, but help is really, like, from a team like Seers, it's really helpful. Yeah.
Can I add to that, with your permission,
Sure.
Shipra? Because we actually come across this quite often, where we have a great amount of engineering talent internally available, and that is where I think partners like Seers and Google can come in with some new technologies or some new innovation that could potentially be leveraged in terms of achieving optimization. So absolutely, I think this entire thing of what Piyush just mentioned, it's all about complementing the efforts to ensure that the migration goes off smoothly, the new systems are better optimized, you're able to use better tools to be able to achieve a better outcome. I think eventually look at a partner as somebody who's going to handhold you, as Piyush mentioned some time back, through that entire journey and take you through it with innovation on your side.
Yeah, great. I think rightly said, Deepak. Ankit, I have one more question for you. Let me see how you're going to answer that. The question is that what percentage of data is secure in the cloud?
100%.
Okay. You're
when I'm very confident of an answer, I don't think it needs more elaboration. What one needs to do is to really understand what's the concept of shared model of responsibility when it comes to data security. You have some of the largest banks across the world that have completely and publicly vouched for the fact that they have moved their data to the cloud, HSBC being one that that has like gone ahead and publicly again and again said that we want to establish that cloud is actually the safer way to go about things. But what I would also like to say is that the customers essentially have responsibilities still when it comes to secrets management, passwords management, basic hygiene, that they still continue to own. And it doesn't matter whether their data was sitting on a server in their end or it was on cloud. So what we do as a standard practice is we do have a security assessment scores for every customer's landscape, and we give a number to that customer to say that how vulnerable could you be to attacks at your side. But in terms of the data security, the data privacy, and data compliance at the Google Cloud's end, I think we are beyond that doubt phase for sure.
Okay. So that question was actually in the context that there's too much of sensitive data which is there with the client. So, but your question, I think, will answer that.
I could. I mean, if I am allowed to speak one more minute, because
yes,
I always like to do this. So, this is something interesting that Google had announced that it uses internally as well, and perhaps people should look at it, which was the Google DLP API, the Data Loss Prevention API. What it does is that any data that you have, let's say on a cloud store at Google or in a BigQuery table, which probably has sensitive information like email addresses or Aadhaar cards, or let's say social security numbers in the case of a US citizen, you can actually anonymize it. You can actually identify all PII information and classify it out so that even bad elements within your organization would not be able to misuse this data. Often the leaks that we kind of hear is basically because some storage bucket was left or some disgruntled employee kind of just opened things up. The cloud today, because of constant daily innovations, has tools to prevent these kinds of leakages much better than versioned software and version tools that were available to us in the past. So I could definitely recommend that anybody who has a data security concern, they should first talk to cloud. And till the time you're not convinced that there are more security measures in place overall, we announced something called Google announced something called confidential servers recently. So there are hundreds of things that are happening. Security should be the reason to move to cloud. That's what I would end at.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's the number one question on everyone's mind, and I hope that does answer and that does assure everyone on the security aspect. So I would like to thank Piyush and Manan. Thank you so much for taking out time. It's really heartening to hear from both of you on how a vibrant brand such as Popexo has been built and grown, and what your future roadmap is, and how cloud is actually a key part of that future growth roadmap. And thank you so much, Deepak and Ankit, for really bringing out the essence of the cloud journey of Popexo. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to all the delegates for taking out time to be a part of this session. I hope you go back with a lot of insights. And of course, Ankit has shared his coordinates. So if you have any more questions, you can feel free to get in touch with Google Cloud as well as with Sears. You can get in touch with them directly or through us, and we will enable connect. Thank you, everyone. Bye.